Ford Y-Block V8, most failed Ford's engines of all time. Welcome back to Muscle Car Masters. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most failed Ford engines, the infamous Ford Y-Block V8. Introduced in 1954, this engine was supposed to be Ford's answer to the competition, a step up from the trusty Flathead V8. But what went wrong? How did the Y-Block, with its powerful lineup from 239 to 312 cubic inches, end up becoming one of Ford's largest failures? From strange design choices to relentless technical issues, the Y-Block's story is full of twists and turns. Have you ever owned a Y-Block? Or do you remember the days when it powered Thunderbirds and Mercuries? Let us know in the comments. And if you're passionate about automotive history, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Stick around to uncover why this engine made it to the list of the worst Ford engines of all time. Historical. In the early 1950s, Ford faced a dilemma. The legendary Flathead V8, beloved by hot rodders and praised for its smoothness, was becoming obsolete. To stay competitive, Ford needed a bold new powertrain. Enter the Y-Block. In 1954, Ford's very first overhead valve V8. This was an ambitious shift from their conservative engineering approach, driven by market pressure and Ford's urge to surpass their competitors. At its core, the Y-Block came in several configurations, starting with a 239 cubic inch, 130 horsepower base model that already outclassed the Flathead's 110 horsepower. The engine quickly evolved. By 1955, Ford had expanded to 272 and 292 cubic inches, and by 1956, the high-performance 312 cubic inch version made its debut, delivering up to 245 horsepower in the Thunderbird. This was an engine intended to keep Ford competitive with Chevrolet's small block V8, which entered the scene in 1955 at 265 cubic inches. The Y-Block's name originated from its deep-skirted block design, which extended down past the crankshaft centerline, a feature meant to enhance strength and smooth operation. However, this design made the engine notably heavier than its competitors. Ford's engineers also added some unusual features, like vertically stacked intake ports, intended to optimize fuel distribution. But the reality? This layout ended up restricting airflow, earning the engine a reputation as a bad breather with limited revving potential. In some ways, the Y-Block looked good on paper. Its compact design, notable power gains, and even a competitive showing in NASCAR's 1956 season helped establish a promising start. But this optimism wouldn't last long. From oil clogging issues to challenging maintenance quirks, the Y-Block's problems quickly began to overshadow its strengths. In the end, while the Y-Block made a splash, it would soon earn a place among failed Ford engines that ultimately led Ford to seek new designs, paving the way for the legendary FE and Windsor engines that would eventually dominate Ford's V8 lineup. Technical challenges and design flaws. On paper, Ford's first overhead valve V8, launched in 1954, should have been a milestone. But several design quirks soon became notorious flaws that would haunt its legacy and leave it remembered as one of the worst Ford engines. The oiling disaster. One of the Y-Block's greatest downfalls was its oiling system. Designed to work with high detergent oils, the engine relied on a single camshaft bearing passage to feed oil to the top-end components, like the rocker arms. Here's where things went south. Many owners opted for cheaper, non-detergent oils, leading to clogged passages and a lack of lubrication to vital areas. But that's not all. Even with proper oils, improper oil changes, and cold starting conditions, oil starvation was a frequent complaint. For Y-block owners, this was a nightmare, as the top end of the engine would gradually lose lubrication, causing premature wear on rocker arms and valves. To address this, many mechanics installed external oil feed kits as a workaround, feeding oil directly from the main gallery to the rocker shafts. Yet, even this solution wasn't perfect. Misaligned rocker shafts or cam bearings would further reduce oil flow, leaving parts of the engine to run dry. Imagine purchasing a Ford with this fresh new V8 only to realize it struggled to keep its own parts lubricated. The vertical intake ports. Ford made a bold move with the Y-block's intake design, opting for a vertical port layout, stacking intake and exhaust ports on top of each other to create a unique, compact setup. The goal? Better fuel distribution and idle smoothness. The result? A severely restricted airflow that earned the Y-block a reputation as a bad breather. While rivals like Chevrolet's small-block V8 allowed free-flowing air intake, the Y-block's vertical ports compromised its ability to rev efficiently, limiting its potential to about 7,000 RPM, a decent number, but with severely restricted air volume. The infamous cracked heads. Another notorious issue was the tendency of the Y-block's cylinder heads to crack. Early Y-blocks, especially the 312 cubic inch models found in Thunderbirds, experienced head cracking that plagued owners. In 1957, Ford attempted a solution, adding a cast iron post inside the coolant passages to support the combustion chamber. While this posting reduced the frequency of cracks, it didn't eliminate them, leaving many Y-block owners to deal with fragile heads that often needed replacement or repair. Exhaust heat issues. If you thought the Y-block's problems stopped at oiling and airflow, think again. Ford's decision to place the two center exhaust ports side by side created intense heat buildup between these cylinders. This design flaw caused cooling challenges and over time led to rust and scale buildup in the exhaust passages. As these passages clogged, the heat problem only worsened. Ford eventually addressed the issue by drilling additional cooling holes in the head and block. But this fix came too late for many owners who had already dealt with overheating and compromised performance. Distributor removal frustrations. Now, here's a challenge that would leave even seasoned mechanics scratching their heads. The Y-block's distributor was mounted at the rear of the engine, tightly fitted into the block. Over time, corrosion from electrolysis would weld the distributor in place, making removal nearly impossible without extensive work. Mechanics often needed to apply heat and use paraffin wax to loosen the distributor from its seized state. Some chose to simply replace the entire distributor instead of risking damage by forcibly removing it. Imagine dealing with a service issue where the distributor, a routine part to service, becomes a nightmare to remove. For those working with the Y-block, it was just another quirk that added to the headaches. The persistent rear main seal leaks. Sealing issues plagued the Y-block, particularly with the rear main seal. While most models used a relatively leak-proof neoprene lip seal, the 312 model used a rope-style seal due to a different main bore size. This seal was infamous for seeping oil, and when it failed, it would leak significantly. Some attempted to replace it with modified seals from other brands, but Ford enthusiasts found these options unreliable as well. Eventually, a custom lip seal was developed to fix the issue, but only after years of frustration from owners tired of constantly topping up their oil. Valve seat troubles in modern use. Finally, the Y-block faced challenges in the modern era. As unleaded fuel became the norm, many Y-blocks suffered valve seat damage from the lack of lead's lubricating properties. To combat this, enthusiasts often rebuilt their heads with hardened seats. However, incorrect installations could lead to further issues, diminishing performance and increasing oil consumption. This adaptation to modern fuel added yet another layer to the Y-block's list of flaws. So, why did the Y-block fail so hard? The answer lies in these many technical quirks and flaws. While Ford's engineers sought innovation with this engine, these unusual design choices added up to make it highly maintenance-intensive, unpredictable, and, at times, outright unreliable. From blocked oil passages and overheating issues to poor breathing and design flaws that made it hard to repair, the Y-block quickly became one of the most failed Ford engines. Impact on Ford's reputation. When Ford introduced the Y-block in 1954, it was meant to be a groundbreaking leap forward, a successor to the beloved Flathead V8. With its innovative overhead valve design and a lineup that reached up to 312 cubic inches, Ford had high hopes for this engine. But those dreams quickly ran into hard reality. The Y-block's numerous technical flaws and design quirks didn't just disappoint Ford owners. They made the Y-block infamous among enthusiasts and contributed to its standing as one of the most failed Ford engines. While the Y-block offered initial horsepower gains, it came with a host of issues that left drivers and mechanics frustrated. Its reputation was marred by severe oiling issues, frequent maintenance problems, and overheating concerns. Many owners had to resort to aftermarket fixes just to keep their engines running smoothly, like installing external oil feeds or adding cooling modifications to handle the concentrated heat between its center cylinders. And of course, these problems weren't just an inconvenience, they were a blow to Ford's image as a reliable car maker. Meanwhile, Chevrolet had just introduced its now legendary small block V8 in 1955, a lighter, simpler, and more reliable engine. As Chevy's small block gained popularity, the Y-block's reputation suffered further, ultimately making it one of the worst Ford engines in history. This failure influenced Ford to move quickly to replace the Y-block with the more successful FE and Windsor engines, aiming to rebuild consumer trust and restore the brand's standing in the V8 market. In the end, the Y-block remains a cautionary tale, a reminder that innovation must be balanced with durability, or it risks damaging more than just a car maker's reputation. So there you have it, the Ford Y-block V8, an engine that promised innovation but ended up as one of Ford's most notorious failures. Despite its potential, design flaws, oiling issues, and relentless maintenance demands held it back. It's a reminder of the risks that come with pushing the boundaries of technology. But what do you think? Could the Y-block have been saved with a few key changes, or was it always destined for this list? If you enjoyed exploring this piece of automotive history, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. For more stories about classic engines, hit that subscribe button and follow Muscle Car Masters. Thanks for watching, and see you next time as we uncover more automotive legends and lessons.